Hi, my name is David Powles. I'm the tutor trainer for TSB Learn. Today's date is the 25th of January 2019. We're carrying out the professional discussion, or speaking and listening discussion, I should say, rather, for level 2 English. And we've got with us today 3 other participants who will be 3 learners who will be carrying out their discussion. So guys, welcome to you all. If I could just ask you just one by one introduce yourself. So if I start with Kevin. Kevin, just tell me your name and full name, please. Kevin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just tell me your name, please.
Yeah. Okay, just no worries.
Okay. Mark? Introduce yourself,
Mark,
please.
and I work at Landmark in Weymouth.
Fantastic. Philip, introduce yourself.
My name's Philip Flint, and I'm from Bradwell Co-op.
Fabulous. So welcome, guys, to this discussion today. We're looking at a situation. There has been an increase in accidents recently within the organisation. And however, despite witnesses often being present, the health and safety officer has noticed that there has been unable to supply any information on what they have seen, or that the information they've given is very vague and so little help in preventing future accidents, or determining in some cases who or what caused the accident. So basically, to try and improve this situation, the health and safety officer has asked all employees to work together to raise awareness of the importance of observing and reporting in these circumstances. So you guys have been invited today to discuss the issues, and basically I've been asked by the health and safety officer to give you some help and prompts to help you with this discussion. So what I really want from you guys, participating all together, I won't be participating myself. I want you guys to do that. I want you to just basically talk about what is a witness statement, what might influence them, how can different witnesses give different statements about the same event, and what do you see as the police's role in taking witness statements? And finally, what do you see as the role of the witness statement in court cases? Okay, so we've got about around about 10 minutes or so. We'll see how we get on. But basically, I want to get your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and ideas about the witness statement. So, guys, please feel free to carry on. Shall I start with you, Philip, and you can talk then with the guys?
Yeah. All right. So, for what a witness statement is a witness statement is a signed document recording the evidence of a witness.
I think it's an individual's account of an occurrence or incident that's happened to either something or someone. It's what they saw, heard, or felt, and as you say, it's recorded as evidence.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So what is basically statements? So it's basically whatever's seen in that lot, and it needs to be written in a formal way and discussed about.
And what might influence how a witness views a situation. They could be under stress or have anxiety over the incident that they are witnessing. They could have memory problems. They could not recall certain bits of the occurrence. They could be in a different position to the incident itself, and who they're taking the witness statement of. So if it's a relationship to them or somebody they don't know, it could differ.
Also talking to other individuals who've probably been there at the same time, It could possibly unintentionally alter their mindset so the stories and details match.
Yes. So what it is basically you could have family members. So you could have a couple of witnesses. So one witness could say, right, this is what happened, and then a family member could say, well, no, this is what happened, and stuck by the family member, and the family member could have memory losses, like Philip said.
Yeah, because the brain takes in completely different, and assesses and takes notes of incidents that occurred, depending on how stressful and distressing the certain situations are.
Yeah, and sometimes you could have a witness who's not even been there and actually still give a witness statement. It's false not identified, should we say?
Yeah. So how can a different witness give a different statement about the same event? They could be in a different location to whoever else has given a statement. They could see, they could have a different perspective on it, and different people notice different things about the same event.
Certain individuals identify certain things in their mind as a priority. A doctor, for example, will only mainly remember the injuries. A person who has an eye for fashion would possibly only identify the clothes being worn, stuff like that. So the mind sees things differently, identifies with different details.
Yeah, I mean, it all goes by. So some witnesses could be on the other side of the road or in a different, like as Philip said, in a different area. So you won't be able to see more than what someone would be if there's behind you or something.
Yeah.
What do you see as the police's role in taking a witness statement? It would be legally binding if the police is taking a statement, and it would generally be for a criminal act. So if somebody's been negligent.
It's taken either written or by video, and they'll just ask your view what's happened. They could ask you other relating questions to try and jog your memory, but it's a neutral account, and they'll only deal with the facts and emotions, or facts not emotions, shall I say.
Yeah, I could basically, like, it depends on who's there. I could ask if they're family, friends, or anything like that. So it's just basically I need to take all facts of what they think is going on, really, from the witness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not meant to catch you out.
Yeah. And how might this affect what you say when taking the witness statement? Well, you'd be more you'd obviously try and stick to the facts and be as truthful as possible.
Yeah,
but it just shouldn't really affect what you take.
What do you see as the role of the witness statements in court cases? I think the purpose of these statements is to provide evidence either in support or against the party. And if your statement is found to be incorrect, it could lead to your credibility as an individual eventually being tarnished and the other party gaining an advantage.
Yeah, so basically what it is, if it all goes to court and they find out you've lied in that lot, it's going to end up worse on yourself.
Yeah, so it's literally the only thing it is in a court case is can be used as evidence.
Yeah.
And can also give the court different perspective and gives the exact details of the event.
Yeah, because it's all different witnesses going to be there, so they need to take in all considerations and take in all views of what's going on, really.
Yeah, give the court a clearer picture of what happened and gives them a more informed decision.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think, was that everybody or was that just me that the browser crashed?
No.
Just
yeah, it's all crashed. Mine did. We're all back up and running now.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So are you okay? So that was good. Good organisation. So what are the points of witnesses do you think? I mean, you've covered quite a bit in there. Why are witness statements so important? Do you think, guys? Discuss that. Why is it so important?
Basically because they need to know what's physically going on. The witnesses actually states what's going on, so if it does come out, because it goes for insurance, other claims, and that lot, so they need to know what physically has gone on and who's been involved in that lot, and who's in the wrong, who's not, and what's going on. Really,
it gives them a clearer picture and a different aspect leading up to and post the event.
Yeah, they would get multiple opinions, multiple accounts of the same event, so they get a broader perspective on what actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's a broader range and that lot. So yeah.
So okay, brilliant. So you've had a look at some of the evidence you've got there, and you've discussed. You've obviously put quite a bit of thought into that, guys. Thank you very much for that. Obviously, the different types of statements that you produce and how it might feel with that. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So well done for that. So we're just going to sort of break off for a second, and I just really want to move then on to the subtask 2. And this task in subtask 2 is really making it more personal to you guys, and see if you had some experience within the business or outside of the business where you have seen or something's been involved in terms of related to witnessing an accident, or you might have some testimony you could offer towards that, or a lesson that you've actually learnt recently. So maybe during lunch period, or a description on a recent journey that you might have had. Try and put as much detail into it as possible. So this will be, bear in mind, this will be an individual chat, basically covering as much as you can in a couple of minutes as you can do. We just want to then we'll pause once everyone's finished. We'll pause and reflect on that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, Mark, shall I start with you this time? Do you want to start with your presentation talk about what you've witnessed or what you've been involved in, please?
Yeah. A few years ago, when I first started, an incident occurred that could have developed into a more dangerous situation than it did. Luckily, it didn't. I work for a company that is contracted by the MOD to look after some of their training estates and ranges. Where I work, we look after and maintain different types of military bridges they hold. And the military come here to conduct training. On this particular day, we were carrying out maintenance on the Light Support Bridge, or LSB, and it's far from light. Each main part of the bridge weighing approximately 400 kilograms each. So a crane is used when building this bridge. The crane lifts each panel as directed, which, when being constructed by the military, is only by a single chain. This is to allow flexibility in the movement of the panel when it is being constructed by the military and located into place. But when carrying out maintenance, we lay it down on the floor so it can be sprayed and rust removed. Because of how the panel is generally lifted, and it's metal on metal, if it is not lifted correctly, the panel can swing and move. These panels are stacked in piles of 7 or 8 high. On this occasion, the panel was not lifted correctly and the panel started to slip. Next to the stack of panels were some stacked metal beams. These panels slipped and knocked a couple of these beams slightly. One of the slingers holding the guidelines did not appear to be concentrating, and by the time we shouted to move, his ankle was caught when the beams fell. Luckily, no serious harm was done, a slight fracture and time off work. Since then, the lifting plan, when carrying out maintenance on this bridge, has been changed to make it safer. Also, the stacking of the beams has changed, which are now interlinked together via a long bolt in groups of 4 or 5. Thank you.
That was well planned, well timed. Did you time it, Mark?
I did.
Very good, well done. Okay, so let's move on then from Mark. Kevin, you've had an experience in the past, haven't you?
Yes,
maybe you
I have,
could tell us about that experience, what you witnessed or participated in, and let the others know about it.
So weather conditions all right, and yeah, we all took off at the traffic lights. Everything was all right, and then all of a sudden it would come to the bend and hit into a brick wall. After that, put my bike down, threw it down, went to see if he was right, and there was no signs of life. So then I had to phone the police, ambulance, and get everyone up like that. So then the police comes out. They've had to check my bike over, my mate's bike over, and make sure we weren't involved, anything like that. And then I had to do alcohol test, and it's like everything's going on. So I was there for about 12 hours, then dealing with a statement saying what I've seen, who was involved, and how it happened. And it was basically just a misconduct of how he's turned the corner. He's just lost control and hit into a wall. So after that, give my statement. The police done all that. Then me and my mate had to go to court after, and they finalised it was accidental and no further action was taken. Thank you.
Okay, good. So some interesting variety of different things that are going on, but that's really good to see. Okay, Philip, are you ready? Do you want to go now?
Yeah, I'm going to do mine on a recent journey.
Absolutely, yeah. Please feel free. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Well, about 2 years ago, we took a trip to Japan, and we for our trip we had to draw. One of our dads drove us down to Gatwick, where we flew from Gatwick with Emirates, and we took it was a 9-hour flight to Dubai, and then we had a 2-hour layover in Dubai, where I had to go and buy some travel sickness tablets without knowing the language, which was interesting. We had to then fly from Dubai to Japan, which was another 7-hour flight, and we landed in Osaka at about 5 p.m. So then for our way home journey, we had to again do a flight from Osaka to Dubai, which was again that was 7.5 hours this time, which we then had a 4-hour layover in Dubai, which we arrived at midnight, and it was about 30 degrees at midnight. And then we took a flight from Dubai to Heathrow this time, rather than Gatwick, and we flew back with Emirates again. And then the flight this time was 9.5 hours. And then we had to get a coach from Heathrow to centre of London, and then we had to get a coach from the centre of London back to Yarmouth. And that was all the different parts of our journey.
So that's good, interesting. Have you finished, Philip?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yes, that
okay.
goes overall.
So a variety of different talks. Again, good to see. There's some evidence of accidents, which is good. But like I said before, part of the brief you can do it on a journey. So that's really good. I mean, good to see that there is a good variety, because it gives us a bit of a variety to talk about. And in this third section, the last section now, having listened to the presentations that I've heard, I mean, really want to talk about the key learning points from each of those discussions or presentations, as I say, and you know, ways of obviously encouraging, helping people to be more observant, and what things you learned possibly from those accidents or journeys that you took place. And also really going to help people be more observant and more accurate when reporting what they have witnessed. So thinking about that, guys, obviously it's nice to hear. Obviously, what I want you to do again, in a group now, just engage. Hopefully you took it, but just engage in some of the points that were brought up. What things, you know, were there any patterns which people helped to remember accurately? What were things said and that you remembered? You know, so let's just spend the next, you know, 5-10 minutes or so just thinking about the last thing, the summary of what you've learned from what other people have said today, what you've engaged with. All right, so I want you to go ahead and talk. So from you, Kevin, tell the others what things you learned from the other people's presentations.
I've presented it all right. I've discussed everything what's going on. It's literally every little bit of detail is involved. I can remember times, everything, where they went to, how long they was there for. It's just so much stuff that you can remember, which it is good because I won't remember it sometimes. But like, you've got to remember it. Really, is what's happened in your life, like too, and what's happened, your failure. Basically, it's all the things which you take the flight to where you're going to go, and you get delays and everything like that. So it's so much detail in everything you've said, really.
Sorry, carry on, guys. Keep talking between three of you. Yeah,
I think it goes to show that if you have an incident or a memorable thing that you've done in your time, that you do remember these certain aspects of the journey or certain aspects of the incident, and you won't forget it, just like the road accident, the accident at work, the long flight journeys, that sort of thing. Being sick on the flight, if you've got to get travel sickness pills and things like that. They're memorable things, and I don't think you'll forget them. And that's what the same with certain incidents. It depends how distressing, as we mentioned earlier, how distressing and stressful and things these can be, that you remember them.
Yeah, it's, when you look at it from other people's perspective, and you can see, like,
so what things did you remember then, Philip? What things were said that you really remember, and why was that?
You remember about Mark's accident at work, well, from his point of view, the accident at work, where they've had to go back and change the health and safety around what they do. And that just shows that an accident can change, like even a near miss accident can change a whole policy for the better.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. So, any other thoughts, guys, on how people's observations skills could be improved?
It's like with this road accident, it's observation. Basically, where he's had that accident, they have now put a camera in place because of the speed limits and all that lot. So they did take into consideration he was speeding, so they've made more improvements and put speed cameras in place, and so it's basically stopped people from speeding, really.
It's a valid point, Kevin. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is a reduce of hopefully further accidents in the future, just because of that one incident.
Yeah,
makes people more cautious as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's an accident black spot.
Yeah, so it's basically awareness of everyone else around them now, because they've put in improvements in place. So, like you say, it shouldn't be like that, and it's make it all cautious and people aware, basically. And there's a crossing in place too, so that's made it even better.
Absolutely. What about Philip's presentation? What was memorable about that? What was the thing that struck you both as quite impressive or interesting?
It's interesting how he remembered all the detail, really, of the hours and what times he got to places, when he arrived at places, and when he took another flight, and how long it was for. So you remember that, really.
I think
what we had to eat on the plane as well.
You'd flown 7 hours from Gatwick to Dubai, and then realised you needed travel sickness pills.
I didn't. That was my first long haul flight. I've only ever flown to Holland, which is if you fly from Norwich to Amsterdam, it's half an hour. But if you fly from Stansted to Amsterdam, it's an hour. So they're the longest flights I did. And then to jump from an hour to 7 hours, and then 9 hours.
Emirates are a good airline, though.
Oh yes, it was very good.
Absolutely. So that's good to see. What are the key points then, guys? Let's just look key points that we need to note then. So I'm just going to note down what are the key points that I can sort of take back to the health and safety officer for possible inclusion on a leaflet to make people more observant. Can you think of a key point? So spend a second just to think of a key point which I can write down on here. Has anybody got any points I could just write down on here, on the flip chart here?
Be health and safety aware.
Just be more observant.
Yeah, note details down that you may not necessarily be aware of. And be cautious.
Be more cautious when you're around. Look out for yourself and others around you, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 3 points there.
Yeah, if you're going to have to take a witness if you think you're going to have to take a witness statement, try and jot some things down to so you get them into the witness statement before you forget them.
Right.
So then that could help improve health and safety after the event.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point, definitely. So we've looked at the elements within the witness testimonies, witness statements in today's work, and we've looked at what is a witness statement. You've discussed in your own ideas about what situation, what might influence that. You've all had, just to put that back on it, you've all had the chance to offer your own presentations with regards to accidents you might have witnessed, and in yours, Philip's, it's your memorable journey, first long journey, which is certainly something to be memorable about. And obviously, with this last section, we just looked at the discussion with regards to the feedback from each and everyone's presentation. So I'm quite happy with that. We've got some notes. Each one of you've put some ideas down. which we can use to hopefully take back to my health and safety officer for hopefully inclusion in the leaflet. So I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, there is a benefit, as it mentions in the notes, that if if we do get a great tip noted down, there possibly could be opportunity to win a prize. So congratulations to that, guys. So this is the main thing. We want to go with that. Thank you so much for your participation. Any other questions related to this now, guys? Do you have any questions? Any other last points I need to add to this discussion?
I don't think so. I think we're all good.
No. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
So
I think we're all good. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Let's. I'm going to close off this speaking listening level 2 discussion, and we'll feedback following this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.